The second generation Apple Watch Ultra has been on my wrist since release, and it's not the first Apple Watch Ultra I've owned, but it is the first time I've tried some of the more Ultra bands. So when the Apple Watch Ultra was released, it brought three new styles of bands: the Alpine Loop, the Trail Loop, and the Ocean Band. Now, while I've tried the Ocean Band, I just don't currently own one because I don't wear my Ultra in the water. The Ocean Band is pretty nice for wearing the watch in the water, but other than that, it's not the best band, at least in my opinion. And now I own a bunch of bands. I own a Solo Loop, a Alpine Loop, Trail Loop, a Nike Sport Bands, regular Sport Bands, and Nike and regular Sport Loop, and a Leather Link. Now that is pretty much all of Apple's bands, except for a braided Solo Loop and the Hermes, as I gotta say, the best Apple Watch band is one that I've recently found, at least in my opinion, as I wear all of these bands almost daily. I change it daily, so like the Nike Sport Band is, this Nike Sport Band, I love wearing Nike Sport Bands because of the breathability, but one thing I find myself hating is almost the design of it with the rubber texture, because it's not as soft as I'd like it to be, and it's like very noticeable, and the adjustments have to be so fine-tuned to what Apple deems fit with the predetermined holes, and similar to that of the Sport Band, as you have to pick with essentially what Apple wants because you only get 5-6 options, whereas the Nike Sport Bands do allow for more with all of these holes, but not as free as you might think. So then you might think the best one would be the Sport Loop. And I gotta say, the Sport Loop is pretty nice as you can adjust it to wherever you like. It's Velcro, and this is one of the new Nike Sport Loops, and I gotta say, I do like it. But my one complaint about it would be the texture of it. So the texture of the band is like very Velcro-y, and it almost kind of makes the Ultra look cheap. And now, with the Alpine Loop, it's the same thing, as it has all these fine, predetermined points of where to put it. And I gotta say, while that's fine for most people, and it's actually very comfortable, it just, for me, doesn't do it the way I would like it to be, as it's just not as comfortable as you might think it would be, because you have to pick between those predetermined, and for me, I'm in between the two determined sizes, as one's too big and one's too small, so I kind of don't wear them that often. I do wear them when I'm doing activities that might require a stronger hold to make sure the watch doesn't go anywhere, but that's what the Alpine Loop was designed for. But my favorite band has been the Trail Loop. So this is one of their new ones. It is called Orange and Beige, with orange, beige, and a little bit of a blue accent. It reminds me of the Sea Salt Sport Loop that was released a few seasons ago, as you have yellow on one side, white in the middle, and then blue on the other side. But the Trail Loop has been so much more comfortable, and it even has this little strap here to just quickly pull to adjust the size if you need it tighter or looser, which is something that these other bands don't really do. And now, the Trail Loop also has a very soft side that faces outward and as well as on your wrist, and the Velcro is just inside facing itself, so you don't feel this kind of rough texture. You feel this very nice and soft texture that is on the outside of the band as well as on the inside, which I've actually become a very big fan of, and I never thought that I would like a Trail Loop. Initially, I thought the Trail Loops were so similar to that of a regular sport loop, which it kind of is, just for the fact that the Trail Loop has a very soft outside and inside, which has actually been very nice and very enjoyable, that it makes me feel like I'm not even wearing an Apple Watch. Whereas with these Nike ones, and really just any of these sport bands, they're almost constantly there because of the rubber. They feel like tight is the best way I can think to describe it. Now, then again, you can also loosen it or adjust it, but then you have maybe it's too big, maybe it's too small, whereas with the Trail Loop allowing you just to get it just right, and can work for pretty much any activity you're doing, except for probably rock climbing, which is why you would get an Alpine Loop, or swimming, as when you do swim in this, it does get a little wet, which is why Apple recommends to use a band like the Sport Band that you can quickly dry off, or the Ocean Loop. But, as I said before, I'm not wearing my watch in the pool, so for me that's not an issue. And just seeing how comfortable this is, and essentially makes me forget that I'm wearing my Apple Watch, and I constantly find myself wanting to wear it because it is a great color. It's a very muted beige that kind of matches the titanium with two, accent colors of orange and blue, which I've come to really enjoy. But What's your favorite Apple Watch band? Because I gotta say, I feel like this is kind of becoming different for everyone I talk to. And some people don't even know that there are different bands out there. And then when they try that other band that you might not think you would like, you actually really love it. But let me know with a comment down below. And if you want to hit like and subscribe while you're down there, I'd appreciate that as well. And I want you to remember, today's a good day to make a great day. But I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.